Hello, my dear friends. Yes, it's Brother Sean, and I would like to share with you a heart response to accessing our divine abundance. And it's interesting how this came about because I've just returned from my 1 hour's constitutional out a day, and I walked along the old railway track nearby in our village, surrounded by trees. It's like walking in a tunnel of trees, and it is so spectacular and beautiful. And as I was meandering along singing my beads, with the 3 dogs of course, I just got a very strong premonition that I had to hurry back home, sit in front of this camera, and just allow the divine speak to both our hearts about unlocking the keys to our divine abundance. So the only thing I have here is a little book of messages channeled from the Cosmic Christ. And I said, okay, you find the reading and I'll deliver it. So what are the keys to unlocking our divine abundance? But let us not get confused with abundance of need and abundance of want. Yes, we live in a beautiful world, but so many people have written extensively and done DVDs on manifesting one's abundance. But we need to understand divine abundance is about meeting our needs, not our wants. So wanting to live in that 5-star hotel and drive that latest design in the Porsche or a BMW, God doesn't provide those. If you need transport, He'll provide it. If you need a place to live, He will find it for you. That comes with trust. But first we need to understand that we need to be in a loving relationship with the Supreme in order to understand divine abundance. Because slowly catch the monkey, as they say, you will hear in your divine spirit of love what God's abundance is for you. But first, I'm guided to read what I've been told to read for this short webinar. As you sit quietly in my presence, remember that I am a God of abundance, a God of abundance. I will never run out of resources. My capacity to bless you is unlimited. Are we hearing that? That God's capacity to provide for us is unlimited. And Jesus says, my capacity to bless you is unlimited. You live in a world of supply and demand. We've heard that before, where necessary things are often scarce. Even if you personally have enough, you see poverty in the world around you. And that is so true. You only have to look in places like Africa, where there's continual famines and people are dying of the basics, food and water. And we have plenty, but we still whinge and moan for Britain. It is impossible for you to comprehend the lavishness of my provisions, the fullness of my glorious riches. And I guess the reason why it is impossible for us to comprehend is because many of God's children have alienated their heart from their divine abundance. They've alienated their heart. Through spending time in my presence, you gain glimpses of my overflowing vastness. These glimpses are tiny foretastes of what you will experience eternally in heaven. Even now you have access to as much of me as you have faith to receive. Rejoice in my abundance, living by faith, not by sight. So there is one of the keys of unlocking your divine abundance: faith. What is faith? Can you buy it in Walmart? Buy one, get one free? No. Faith is a gift. It's a gift from the Supreme, that loving Father, Mother God, who created you and me as a child of love. But faith is accessed, it is freely given, but only to those who use their gift of free will. In other words, faith is waiting for you to have, but you have to use your gift of free will and say, Father, Mother God, I come before you and I ask you to empower me now to receive this gift of free will so I can use it to praise your name. What are the other keys to unlocking divine abundance? Well, the next I consider to be as important is surrender. Surrendering your heart to your truth. Surrendering your heart does not mean reneging on promises made, or does it mean giving up control of your life? No, it means as a child of God, you are surrendering your heart to love. And when you have surrendered your heart, then I believe divine abundance comes. But in the world today, there's a duality, a conflict of information. One side is saying you can manifest anything from God. You cannot. If it involves want, you cannot. You can manifest your needs, what you need today, not tomorrow, today. Food, shelter, clothing, friends of like mind. The third key I consider equally important is to be balanced in your mind, in your body and spirit, where you have opened your heart to receive a 50% stake of the divine Magdalene, feminine energies of God, and the divine masculine of Christ. So that's the feminine and the masculine energies of God. Because when there is balance, there is harmony. And where there is harmony and balance, then our higher self, our spirit room, can engage with the Supreme. They are three of the most important keys: faith, surrender of oneself to the Supreme, and balance in that surrender. There are other contributing factors as well, which also could be considered as small keys: living a life of integrity, a life of humility, a life of service, a life of sharing your gifts with the divine. And that is very difficult in a world that has become so focused on me and self. And you're aware of that as much as I am. People only have need of you when they want a favor from you. In my case, when they need prayer. But very few come back to say what the outcome of prayer has been. Occasionally you might meet them, months, maybe years later, and they say, oh, by the way, I should have thanked you for that prayer, but I forgot. And many treat God in the same way. They come to God in their brokenness, in their confusion. And God understands that and He forgives, because His love is unconditional. But He's mindful of how selfish mankind has become. How me-orientated has his children evolved in expressing their love of self and totally annihilating anyone who tries to offer them help. So today you can unlock the mystery of your abundance from God, but it will focus on your specific needs. And remember the gift of faith, free will, the gift of surrendering your heart. They are as important as the air you breathe into your lungs. Thank you for watching, and I pray that you will find your abundance too. Namaste.